Hey everybody, this is going to be a little bit of a hodgepodge video here in that I wanted to just review a few things that I think everybody could benefit from, and it could just be easier to show in a video. So we're going to be looking at the online marketing store that Momentum set up for us, also looking at some new materials that we added to Dropbox that can help with signing restaurants and finding hotel partners and corporate partners, just a lot of new information. And then also just talking about the best place to find restaurant numbers. So starting with Momentum, this is a marketing partner of ours outside of Orlando, and I'm sorry, in Orlando, and they have set us up with a retail store. I sent everybody a username and password, but I just wanted to show it in action as well. This is their main site here, and if you click Retail Store Login, you'll use the username and password that we sent you to go ahead and log in. And there's a few items that are available here, and they're just going to be adding more and more. But generally, these are items that I used to have to coordinate large bulk orders for, which was kind of difficult. And so what they've done is that they have stocked a lot of these in their warehouse, so they're available for anybody, so we don't need to do bulk orders. So just a few things. They just added bottles of water. With the bottles of water, you have two options. You can do one that has a coupon on it and one that's just the label. So if you wanted one that's just the label, you would go down this route. If you wanted one that's a coupon, you would go down this route, and you'd be able to define what the coupon code would be and how much it would be for. The plastic bags are the plastic to-go bags that we provide to some of our restaurant partners. The idea here is that they would use our bags for all of their to-go orders, which is just a great win-win. And I don't know if all the chains will do it, although we have had some chains take it. But for the mom and pops, this is a great opportunity because they pay for these normally. So you're handing them something that they would normally pay for anyway, and then they're basically happy to promote us because, again, they're saving money. So you can order those directly on there. We've got a couple magnets that are available. We have koozies. We have a couple designs of pens. You see they're actually up to 4 of them now. And also window clings. And again, we really just set this up a couple weeks ago, so the idea is just going to be adding more and more, and as more items come in, they're going to be available on the store. So it's definitely worth checking out. A lot of cool things on here. All right, so then shifting gears, I wanted to show Dropbox. So I sent everybody an email that's got the latest Dropbox password in there. And again, with Dropbox, it can be overwhelming at first because there's just, 10 years worth of stuff in here. That's why we really try to focus everything with these very topmost items that start with 1. So I'm going to be looking at here the 1 online manual, important documents. And we've added a couple things to, first of all, the office operations. You can see we have a new folder up here, corporate accounts, doctors, hotels, and apartments, and also here customer issue replies. So looking at this first section here, these are some documents or some potential templates or emails that can really help you kind of get some things done. This first one here is $5 off VIP for special customers. This one and this one here are for targeting hotels. This is 5 reasons hotels use DD, and then this is an actual agreement that you could walk into a hotel with. This one here is detailing our new corporate rewards and referral program. This one is a letter that can go to apartment complexes. Apartment complexes are a great opportunity, whether it be being part of their move-in packet with materials or coupons of ours, or even maybe getting something like magnets onto their refrigerators. And then this one here is a letter to doctors' offices. And I've downloaded these so it'll be easier for me to open up. But just looking at a few of them, the hotel service agreement, for example, you can definitely make changes to it. I mean, we don't have to do exactly what's on here. For example, the benefits here say that if a hotel is willing to place our materials in their rooms, they get a $50 a month credit, and also the employees get a 10% off VIP card. If you want to do more than 50, less than 50, I mean, you have some flexibility, but at least you have a good template here, a good starting point. Again, similarly with the corporate rewards program, this gives you a template of what some branches are doing with regard to how much money a customer would get. The idea here is that the customers are targeted usually, in that they are our customers who are already placing corporate orders, and we're using this to build loyalty. But it's also something you can keep in your pocket when introducing yourself to new corporate clients or potential guests. But again, if you feel like this is too aggressive or not aggressive enough, at least it gives you a template, something to start with. Letters with doctor's office, this is a great idea to be able to leave something behind. But when you're dealing with the doctor's offices too, one success that we've had is having something tangible that you can leave behind beyond just, a trifold or a postcard. This was one idea here I've seen where we had stress balls created. I've also seen things like mouse pads, but something like a stress ball, this is something that people could actually use and use potentially every day and just be seeing our logo, and it really just helps build that brand and just make people think of us. So again, that's the corporate accounts, doctors and hotels, a lot of great information in there. This one here, customer issue replies. These are just some examples of a letter, or really more specifically an email to a customer for incorrect items or late orders or just generally upset. And again, you may not want to use it word for word, but it gives you a great template of how we've responded to issues like this before, and just something that you can take and then kind of customize to fit the exact situation for that customer. But I downloaded some of these, and so for example, letter for late order. Again, this would probably be more like an email. You can take this and change it to fit your needs, but it saves you some time from having to reinvent the wheel. Whenever you're responding to a customer or even reaching out to a customer proactively, I always like to thank them. And again, I guess more specifically when they email us to complain, I always want to turn it around and say, thank you for giving us this feedback. Thank you for making me aware. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to really improve my business. We also added a few items to the restaurant section. These here are really about following up with the restaurants that you've either walked into, sent a letter to, emailed, called, anything like that. So some of these you've seen before. So for example, the DDFAQ and the DD PowerPoint, these are included in here because they're referenced in some of the items that we send. But some of the new ones here is this is a follow-up to a restaurant that you've already spoke to, and then here is a last follow-up. So looking at the follow-up, it's the best idea to send it in an email like this. So for example, the document is this part here, but you can see that Will also mentioned that, hey, restaurant, I've included an example of a new email that we could send out to announce you. And this is great because it gives them something they can look at right away that says, wow, these guys really are going to market for us. And what Will's done here too is used templates within GoDaddy, which makes it really easy for sending these out and sending out others in the future. So we've got the follow-up and the last follow-up. That last follow-up has a little more urgency to it, and it stresses that, hey, we're about to do a marketing blitz and we'd love to include you, but we have to get you in by this point. We also have two restaurant contracts in here. One that's if you are remitting the sales tax to the restaurant, and one that's remitting the sales tax to the state. Please make sure you understand that because that does affect which contract you're going to be giving the restaurant. And then here as well is just a summary of our advertising, which again is referenced in these two emails here. So again, just following up with those restaurants, keeping the urgency going. We also have here follow-up to a first-time catering order. Wow, if you can get a catering order, you really need to be reaching out to them, building a relationship, making sure the order went okay, really just giving them that special attention to keep them coming back again and again. So that's what we have in here. We've got a follow-up. We've included a couple that Orlando is using, and then I've also included this email to potential catering client and the restaurant list. These were the two that we saw Scott using on our podcast from about a month ago. So this was an email that's really more specific on the restaurants in the area for that customer, and just making it really easy for them to be aware. That also goes hand in hand with this one here, the DD catering form. This is a form you can send them where they just type in, for example, hey, I'm looking to feed 10 people and I want Italian food, and you can really go from there. This is great to really provide some structure to the catering client before they even call you. And it can be a good thing if they don't know which restaurant they want and they really are looking for advice. Gives you some control to make sure that it goes to restaurants that you trust most or restaurants that may best fit their needs or fit their budget. So it is great to provide some structure before they start. Just a couple things while we're looking at Dropbox in general. We do have in here one Tigris Marketing Designs, and this is a database of a lot of the items that Tigris has worked on. So let's say, for example, you're thinking about doing bus benches and you want to see some examples. You can jump here, click bus benches. These are all different ones that have already been designed. And again, maybe you're looking at doing a new shirt, or a new rack card. Really, whatever it is, you could start with this right here to get some ideas so that when you go to Tigris, you can say, well, hey, I want to do a door hanger, but I'm looking to do this exact special offer door hanger here that you did in the past. And again, it can save some time and really give you some ideas of what other branches are doing. One other thing on Dropbox that I kind of want to push people off Dropbox is the corporate restaurant numbers, which I'm not even sure where we put it in here. But what I wanted to make you aware is that if you're looking for restaurant numbers, your best bet is going to Basecamp. And the reason that we moved it all to Basecamp was just to make it a little bit more conversational. So someone could jump on here and say, hey, I'm looking for this, and we can take it from there. And if you go down here, you see 59 more files. We've got at least 60 restaurants here that we keep their numbers. Most of them are through the end of 2015, and then we'll be doing another round of update at the end of June to get the first half of 2016. But it's really good, very useful. And again, if you're walking into Texas Roadhouse, for example, it can be great to have those numbers in your hand. And please be aware that we also have a good set of generals. So, generic Mexican, generic Latin. These are going to be ones that are not the chains, and so they're just going to be one store in one city. But again, sometimes these are our strongest numbers. The best example is our #1 restaurant is Bento in Gainesville specifically. And at this point, it's a little bit of a chain in that they're in Gainesville and Orlando and Jacksonville, but they're certainly not a nationwide chain. And our Bento in Gainesville was our #1 restaurant the last 2 years, and it hasn't even been close. So sometimes walking in and saying, hey, look what we did for a restaurant that's not even a chain can be very powerful. So again, check out the generics as well. We've got a lot of them in there. And these can all be found in Basecamp in the corporate restaurants folder. If you are not on this or you need anybody added to it, just let us know and we'll get you added. So just to sum it up, we've got Momentum Marketing, which is a great spot where you can order things like pens and bags and koozies and anything like that. We've got the Dropbox that's got some great new materials for reaching out to restaurants and hotels and customers and a variety of items. We've also got in here marketing templates that can help you begin a conversation with Tigris, and just making sure you know that on Basecamp we've got all the corporate restaurant numbers. All right, thanks everybody.